Hey, y'all. Let me adjust myself. Eh? What's up, beautiful people? Welcome in. Happy Monday. What up, guys? What up, guys? What up? What up? What up? What's good, beautiful people? What's up, thrivers? What's up, survivors? So happy to be here on this beautiful Monday evening. I hope that this video finds you well, this live stream finds you well, wherever you are. Good evening, good afternoon, maybe, good morning somewhere. But shout out to all my warriors out there that are tuned in, ready to listen and join this live today as we speak about how people label you. Difficult because you attempt to hold them accountable. Oh my gosh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. This is Mommy So Chu checking in on a Monday evening. Um, so happy to be here with you all. Very, very excited for the people who are new. Just want to catch you on board, or at least let you know why the chat is shut off. Don't worry, this won't happen on all the lives, but most of my lives you will notice that the chat will be silent. I want to give you an opportunity to take the time for yourself. When you and I meet, I want you to focus on you, why you're here, and get the message and not be distracted. And so welcome if you're new, a big old hug to you. If you are, one of my riders, my day one subscribers, shout out to you. Thank you for taking this time to come and sit with me and have this conversation. Of course, there will be a live replay where you can go, and I encourage you to leave those comments if you're interested in doing so. And of course, if this topic resonates with you today, if it does something to empower you, inspire you, remind you, or even give you the push that you're looking for, that you need, hit that like button and share your thoughts and your experiences if that's of interest for you. But you guys, I'm here to share with you what's on my heart today as I talk to you about how people will label you difficult because you are attempting to or are holding them accountable for their actions, what they've done, what they've said, what they've caused. Not saying that you're perfect. No. When we want someone to take accountability, we're just asking that they own up to what they did. Take responsibility for your part. And so one thing I know is that you're dealing with toxic people, when you're dealing with narcissistic type of people, the one thing that becomes very offensive to them is you holding them accountable. You even attempting to hold them accountable because they're not used to you being that way. They're not used to you doing that. A lot of us who have dealt with these type of people, we've always been yes ma'ams. We've never really said no. We've always kind of enabled the behavior, whether we knew it or not. And so it gets to a point where you have to start holding them accountable, or at least start attempting to. This is when you start becoming awoken to what you're dealing with, and they're never ready for you to hold them accountable, or for you to even attempt to hold them accountable. But I'm here to tell somebody that if you're dealing with people who are mad that you're putting your foot down, who are mad that you're saying no, who are having a hard time accepting you being you, because for so long they controlled everything and they didn't really know you. For so long you've been so quiet, and now you're probably changing because you're learning so much and you're awakening to so much, and they can't stand you. They cannot stand you now because you're speaking up more. You're distancing yourself more. You're saying no. You're now in control. And it's weird because they're not used to you doing that. You've been in a whole world of manipulators, professional manipulators, and they do not like when they can no longer manipulate and dominate and control their victims. And so you now get labeled as the narcissist. You now get labeled as the problem. You now get labeled as a difficult person because of what you now see. Some of you, it'll get to a point, whether you're married to this person, you've walked away from this person, or you're being raised by them, this is your parent. It'll get to a point where you start to feel uneasy around them. It gets worse. As you age, as they grow, and as they remain in your life, it feels uncomfortable to be around them. And the lies, you catch on to it more and more. The fake and phony facade that they carry on, the mask that they're wearing, you start to see right through it more and more clearly. And what that does is it make you change. It make you change. You now become very firm, very assertive in who you are. And for a lot of you, the people in your life, these toxic, manipulative, narcissistic people in your life are not ready for that switch up in you. They're not ready to see you start sitting with your head high. Not just physically, but on a spiritual level. You come off different, more confident. It's confusing. You leave these demons scratching their head. Now, of course, you got to be labeled difficult because they're confused. When you attempt to hold wicked people responsible for their wicked doing, you are the problem. You must be the problem. Let's focus on why you are the problem. Let's pull up all of your old dirt. Let's talk about your past. Let's make sure we're smearing your name to everybody that matters to you. Because you trying to hold someone like that accountable, it's a lot. You're asking for a lot. You're asking this person to look inside of them. You're asking this person to go and reveal who they really are behind that mask that they're fooling people with. You're asking them to look at the low version of themselves because you want them to face the mistakes. You want them to own up to the actions. And these type of people, you're asking for something that's just way too difficult. Too difficult. Because the secret is supposed to remain a secret if you're dealing with these type of people. Nobody is supposed to know the truth. And you being a truth teller, a truth seeker, a truth seer, you're offensive. You're offensive. A lot of you will definitely be able to confirm that you've dealt with toxic people or narcissistic being in your life who came at you for being real, who came at you crazy for telling the truth or telling it how it is, or for expecting them to stand on their own word. As soon as you start, expecting them to fulfill the promises that they swore they were going to fulfill, now you're a problem. Now you're difficult because you remember the truth. You were supposed to remember the lies. You were supposed to remember everything that they fed you. All the bullshit is what you're supposed to hang on to. But as soon as you exhibit that actually you have a really good memory, you remember exactly how it happened. You remember exactly what they said. You're a problem. As soon as you start making moves and changing up how you do things because they said what they said and you remember it. They did what they did and you won't forget it. Now you're a problem. Now you're the one sneaking around. You made a plan. You already was going to do that. A narcissist is very quick to play the blame game. Very quick to project Some are not even narcissists. Some are just very toxic people. Because of course, everybody won't be diagnosed. So to be fair, we'll identify some as just extremely toxic people. To me, it ain't no different. They will blame, project, and deflect situations just to avoid taking accountability. They're literally allergic to that word. Because there are 5 major reasons why they hate that word. There are 5 major reasons why, in my opinion, you get labeled difficult for attempting to hold these people accountable. My number 1 reason is because they were using you anyway. They wanted to use you. They were using you. They had to use you. They've been used you. You were just being used anyway. So because you are now standing back, stepping back, noticing that you've been used, noticing that they've just been here for all the wrong reasons, in the relationship for all the wrong reasons, married you for all the wrong reasons, had a child or 2 or 3 or 4 with you for all the wrong reasons. And you start to step back. You start to now put you first, choose yourself. Now you're selfish, right? You've always planned it, right? You're against them now all of a sudden because you are this labeled difficult being for holding them accountable. You see what you see and it is what it is. You wanted to use me. You just needed me for image. You needed me to marry me for a look. You needed me to have children, maybe to make your exes mad. Their reasons to be in your life is always completely jacked up. Their intentions of being in your life is always completely jacked up. They're not there for any real reason. It's just to use you. They loved you and they said, I love you because you were usable. I love you means I can use you. I want you means I want to use you. Dealing with narcissistic people and toxic people, they always wanted to use you anyway. So you get labeled difficult, attempting to hold them accountable for trying to use you. Because control gets lost. Once you were woken to the fact that they were just using you, you were targeted for some particular reason, and you start to fall back, you're labeled difficult because they've lost control. You are no longer the dummy that they thought you were. You are no longer this easy person that they groomed to think that there was some type of unconditional love between y'all. They were always using you and they wanted to use you. So once you stop being usable, now you're unusable. You can't use me anymore because I'm on to your game. Go ahead and label me difficult. Yeah, I'm difficult. You can't do me how you used to do me anymore. You can't get me to give my money how I used to give it. You can't get me to lay down and open my legs however you want, like you used to. Because many become sex slaves to these ignorant, demonic people. They do. My second reason is that when you attempt to hold these type of people accountable, what you do is you pull out a feeling of incompetency. You make them feel small and low. Now you become targeted even more and harshly because you've made them feel small and low, which is once again bringing them back to that feeling of disgrace and shame that they are already running from in life, period. Attempting to hold them accountable and making them face who they are by not sugarcoating and denying and brushing things up under the rug anymore makes them feel incompetent. Makes them see how unvaluable they really are and how much they're not putting any value in your life. But too bad, they're completely jacked up here and in their spirit. So what they'll do is they'll just label you difficult. You're the problem because you're making me face the fact that I am a big problem to myself and to the people around me. That third reason for me is you're challenging that grandiose nature. Yeah, you're going to label me difficult because I'm not making you feel superior anymore. I'm onto your game, so I'm not falling for it anymore. You're not getting the same reactions and emotions out of me anymore. I just don't give a damn anymore. I am unbothered. And now you're bothered. So I become labeled difficult because I'm bothering you by being unbothered. I am bothering you by being unbothered by your grandiose nature and your attitude, the me, and I'm entitled. The game is over. Oh my God. So you get labeled difficult because you're on to the game. My fourth reason is that it shows how much you've figured them out. You were never supposed to figure any of this out. You were never supposed to learn the terminology you've learn the vocabulary that you've learned. You were never supposed to connect the dots to the fact that, oh, this goes back to my childhood. Oh, this goes back to my parents. So, oh, this goes back to me. Oh my God. Oh, this goes back to spiritual growth. Let me get closer to God. Let me work on me. Let me do what I need to do to change my life. Because these people in my life got me messed up. They've pulled me into some world that I'm unfamiliar with, but now I see it. I figured it out and I can free myself. And as you're freeing yourself, what you're doing is now you're loving on yourself. You're pouring love into yourself. You're exhibiting so much self-care. You're taking care of yourself. And as you're doing that, you look good. You appear to be looking amazing. Your light is glowing and everyone sees it. So that narcissistic person who thought that they were going to kill you, destroy you, get rid of you, they get a whiff of that. And oh, let me go ahead and stir up some drama. Let me try and throw a wrench her way. Let me try and block the blessing. Let me try and put some gossip in someone's ear. Because this person is being difficult by showing me that they're still standing. This person is being difficult by showing me that they are undestroyable. You're irritating these demons because they just can't seem to get rid of you. And so you get labeled difficult. Because as you thrive, you're forcing these demons to take accountability for the fact that they tried it. You did all that. I'm that same person who you left down in that pit. I'm that same person who you threw in that dungeon and walked away and tossed away the key. But in the midst of my troubles, in the midst of my worries, God was there. God made a way. God released me. God helped me escape. God showed me what I was not seeing before. And now I'm a thriver. I survived it and now I'm thriving past it. I am moving forward because I have figured you out. I have figured out that it was not my fault. I was raised like that. I was raised by them. I have figured out that I didn't see the red flags because it was normal for me. So now I'm going to do what I can do to make sure that I unlearn, rebuild, reconstruct, resurrect. My God, the word of the week for me, I don't know about y'all. Resurrect. Because he's risen, I rise. One of my favorite poems by Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. And it's sitting right here, back here actually. My God, I don't want to read it to y'all right now, but it just kind of came up. But that fifth reason for me why toxic people and narcissistic people will label you difficult for holding them accountable is this strong fact that you have shown how solid your character is. You have proven how real you are in your nature. You have proven that even in your imperfection, you're willing to look at yourself and address your mistakes. Address your actions. Pay attention to what you did. That's why you know how to apologize. That's why you know how to forgive. And this makes you turn out to be smarter than they ever thought. Much wiser. You actually pay attention. They thought you were this fool who just don't pay attention. You're just so dumb because they had you. You're just so clueless and so lost because you let them in your life, but that's not the case. That's not the case. And for many of us, we had to show them better than we could tell them. And because of that, we've become difficult. Because of that, we've become the ones who were the narcs. Because we learned how to become cold. Yeah, that's the word. Because some of us have learned how we had to. By choosing ourselves, that's not cold-hearted, but hey, let them tell it. We're difficult. We've become cold-hearted even though we're not. No, we've just learned that unconditional love does not mean I need to stick through disgusting circumstances. I need to just unconditionally tolerate the nonsense. That is not what unconditional love means. So, seeing that I'm real and noticing that you are fake, I start to hold you accountable. I'm asking questions. I'm trying to figure out why you cannot rationally think like me. Now I'm trying to pull out more truth. I'm trying to figure out more about you. Now I'm putting things together. And as I'm figuring it out, I'm retracting my energy. I'm doing less and less for you. I'm talking to you less. I'm vibing with you less. So yeah, label me difficult because I've switched up and I've changed up how I am because you don't deserve what I was giving. Label me difficult. Because I am now attempting to hold you accountable for the person you said you were in the beginning, but you're not. You're nothing like who you say you are. You're nothing like who you act like you are in front of people at church either. For those of you dealing with those spiritual narcissists that like to go to church Monday through Sunday, but at home with you, their parenting skills give it all away how evil they really are. I mean, come on, let's be real. So when you start to show these people that you're on to them by distancing yourself, cutting them off, going no contact, speaking less, doing less, now you're a problem. Now you are a problem. You have issues. They telling everybody you crazy. Oh, you need a therapist. You need medication. That's just how it is when you're dealing with people who cannot stand that you're on to them. You will be labeled difficult for simply attempting to hold people accountable. Whether narcissistic or just toxic, you will be labeled a problem for identifying the real problem. You will be labeled the issue for seeing that clearly you were never the issue. All because these type of people are so ashamed of who they really are. There's so much self-hatred there that to tell them to be accountable, to expect them to oblige to their responsibilities and take care of what they should, it's insulting to them. It's a problem for them. And it's like, for me, and maybe so for many of you survivors and thrivers out there, knowing that you will be labeled difficult no matter how you move, labeled difficult because you're switching up your moves and you're onto it and you see it and you know how to move, you should remain unbothered. You should not care how they feel about it, how they perceive you, how they're going to talk about it. Remain unbothered still through it all. because regardless, they're going to talk about you. But as you thrive, as you heal, as you get better, as you glow, and as you become more and more educated and empowered about these type of people, you change. And they're going to hate you for changing. But please know that you're doing something right if they're hating on you. Know that you're doing something right if they cannot stand you even more. Know that you're doing something right if the smear campaign is still going on. Know that you're doing something right if they still want to argue. As soon as you start, trying to make your point, you're being argumentative. You're being disrespectful. You're dealing with people who don't want you to have a mind of your own. You need to shit on them and have a mind of your own. You need to remain unbothered and stay difficult. Continue to irritate their demons. A lot of people are too fearful of narcissistic people and toxic people, and you don't need to be. They're really scared of you. And the one thing I want to advise anyone who is struggling with these type of relationships and these type of people, you need to become unbothered and never expect for them to take accountability for anything they've done. Don't expect them to tell the truth about what happened, because they won't. They won't admit some of the things they did. They won't admit some of the things they've said. They're going to take this shit to their grave, and you need to become unbothered by it by accepting that that's just what you're going to deal with. No closure, no sorry, no thank you, no I did it, no genuine I'm sorry. None of that is going to ever happen, because in their sick little minds, they didn't do it, you did it. In their sick little minds, because you are so real, you force them to be even more fake. You are the reason why they lied so much. You're the reason why they just could not, stay committed. You're the reason why they are a deadbeat parent. It's all your fault. That's okay. If you're struggling with that, just know that it's okay. Let them have it. It is your fault. Yeah, okay. It's my fault that I'm so full of light that your darkness just can't stand it. That makes me difficult. Your light makes you extremely difficult. It makes it very hard for them to see when you're around. That light is blinding. Ain't no shades in the world that can help them stay, protected from your light. That shit shines way too hard. You come in too real with too much truth, too much authenticity, and too much genuineness, and that shit is just too much for fake ass people who don't care about nobody or nothing besides protecting their fake ass image. They'll label you difficult because you're nothing like them. But you gotta know that it's actually a good thing. When they're talking about you, it's a good thing. They're bothered by you. That's what that means. And for me, I'm gonna remain unbothered, and I encourage you to do the same. If you're not, get with the program now. They're gonna always label you as the problem, especially if you have walked away. You are the problem. Those scapegoats, the people who have left their families, you are the problem. Because you're somewhere showing that you're different from them. You're somewhere exposing that you're nothing like them. You're not gonna raise your children the same. You're not gonna have that type of a relationship. You're not gonna live that type of a life. So you're difficult. You are a problem child for the rest of your life, because you see right through all of your family's bullshit. And it's never gonna stop. And you're never gonna be okay with it or with them and how they talk and how they do you and how they do people. So you'll be difficult. Be proud about it. It is what it is. All right? You guys, I appreciate you tuning in and watching this live and taking this moment to listen to me. But this was just so amazing to be able to do, because number one, I respect everyone's time, and I don't like to take too much of your time, especially on an evening, on a weekday. Just want to be able to encourage and inspire you to keep going and to stand firm in being that that powerful warrior that you are, that fearless being that you were created to be. Walk in the light that you were given. And don't be offended, don't be fooled or distracted by people being mad at your light. They're going to talk about you, ruin you. They're going to come at you and try to do stuff. You need to be unbothered and just focus on you, your vision for life, and your plans. Because they really don't matter. And as time goes on, many of you will learn that. But to those who know, you know. If you know, you know, right? And so until Friday night, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for stopping in and tuning in on this wonderful Monday. We'll do this again Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for listening. Until next time, guys, have a blessed rest of your week. Bye.